In this video for section 8.1, we're going to look at a couple of new notations. The first is factorial notation. So when we have factorial notation, we put an exclamation point after a number, and that tells us that we're going to multiply by every number from that number down through 1. So for example, if I wanted to do 5 factorial, I would do 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if you do that on your calculator, you would find that it equals 120. 0 factorial, by definition, is equal to 1. So we're going to look at example 3. It says to write the first 4 terms of the sequence, whose nth term is a sub n equals 2 to the n over n minus 1 factorial. So we'll start with the first term, 2 to the 1 over 1 minus 1 factorial. The 1 is plugged into 2 places. 2 to the first is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. And as we just said, 0 factorial is equal to 1. So this is equal to 2. A sub 2, we have 2 squared over 2 minus 1 factorial. 2 squared is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 1 factorial is also equal to 1 because it's just 1 and it doesn't have anything else to multiply by. So that's equal to 4. A sub 3, 2 to the third over 3 minus 1 factorial. 2 to the third is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So this is 8 over 2, which is also equal to 4. And finally, my fourth term, 2 to the fourth over 4 minus 1 factorial. 2 to the fourth is 16, and 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. And 16 over 6, I can't divide evenly, but I can simplify. And in the homework, you're going to need to simplify any fractions that can be simplified, so this would be 8 over 3. So next you should look at checkpoint number 3. Do this in your notes, check your answers, and then move on with the video. Our second type of notation is summation notation. Summation notation is represented with the Greek letter sigma, which sort of looks like an E with a triangle thing in the middle. When we have summation notation, we have a number below the sigma, and it will say I equals, or it could be J or K. Those are the letters commonly used. And then there's going to be a number at the top of the sigma. This tells you what numbers you're plugging into the formula. You're plugging in all of the numbers from the bottom number up to the top number. You plug those numbers into the formula that comes after the sigma, then you add all of your answers together. So we're going to look at example 5. Looking at part A, we're going from 1 to 6 and plugging into I squared plus 1. So we'll start with 1. 1 squared plus 1 is 2. And we'll plug in 2, which gives us 5. We'll plug in 3, which gives us 10. We'll plug in 4, which gives us 17. We'll plug in 5, which gives us 26, and we'll plug in 6, which gives us 37. So we're plugging in from 1 through 6, every whole number between 1 and 6, including 1 and 6. Now I'm going to add these together. So if you add 2 plus 5 plus 10 plus 17 plus 26 plus 37. You can use your calculator, but you would find that the sum is 97. So 97 is my answer. For part B, we're plugging in from 4 through 7. So we're going to start with 4, negative 2 to the 4th minus 5. Now be careful with the signs. Make sure that you put the negative 2 in parentheses on your calculator like I have it here. That would be positive 16 minus 5, which is 11. We'll plug in 5, which is negative 32 minus 5, negative 37. We're going to plug in 6, 64 minus 5 is 59. And we'll plug in 7, which is negative 128 minus 5, which is negative 133. Now if we add these four numbers together, 11 minus 37 plus 59 minus 133, that gives us a total of negative 100. And lastly, looking at part C, here what I'm plugging into is just 3. Now notice there's no I here, there's no variable to plug into. So when I plug in 1, I just get 3. When I plug in 2, I get 3. When I plug in 3, I get 3. When I plug in 4, I get 3. And when I plug in 5, I get 3. So because there's no variable here, it doesn't matter what I'm plugging in for the variable because the answer is just 3. So I get 3 for each of these, plugging in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when I add these all together, it's a total of 15. So next you should look at checkpoint number 5. Do these in your notes, check your answers, and then move on to the homework.